Hello there and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about shadow work. We are in the dark half of the year. This is the perfect time to be doing shadow work. So first I just want to talk a little bit about what is shadow work before I give you a couple of examples that you can do for your own shadow work. So shadow work refers to the unconscious half of yourself. It is the side of yourself you don't want to be shown to the world. Everyone has a shadow, whether it is something you want to hide from the world or something that you don't want to acknowledge in yourself. Everyone has one. We often reject or suppress this side of ourselves as a coping mechanism. It can be something that is in place so that you can protect yourself. And that's what makes shadow work hard. It is a difficult and uncomfortable process. And shadow work should not be taken lightly. It can definitely bring up a lot of emotions, especially if there is past trauma there. So please, 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 if you need help, you are not alone. Please be sure to reach out to a mental health professional. They can often help you through this journey and make sure that you are on the right path and doing this in a safe and healthy way. You know your situation better than anyone else. Please don't be afraid to make that decision. So then, shadow work is a part of analytical psychology, and again, it generally means the unconscious self. It is what is hidden from the ego and hidden from how we identify consciously who we are. Facing your shadow requires love. It is not about banishing your shadow. It is about integrating and embracing your shadow, welcoming it with open arms so that you can love yourself as a whole. The shadow is part of you. It's not something that you can get rid of. And in fact, if you were to try to further reject this part of yourself, you may run into some other issues. You are then not helping yourself. Your shadow work may never be complete because it is something that you can always work on. There's always going to be a new part. It's a continual strategy to try to recognize yourself as a whole and be sure to start the healing process. It doesn't have to be only things that happened in childhood. Shadow work is things that happen every day, even as an adult. There are going to be situations that you can reflect on and do shadow work on. So you can definitely do this at any point. However, right now, being the dark half of the year, is a really good time for it. But some examples of shadow work and knowing where to start is recognizing your triggers, or when you're being reactive to a situation or maybe something someone said. And it is the conscious decision of looking into why is that making you reactive? Is there something within yourself that you don't like seeing in this person? Because that's what it often is. It's something that you want to reject that upsets you more when you see it in other people. So for example, flares of jealousy. You may be becoming jealous because of something in your own past, such as the trauma of being cheated on. Perhaps you're overly critical of others because you're overly critical of yourself, and you haven't yet found how to love and accept yourself the way you are. Or perhaps there's some suppressed emotion. So by integrating this shadow, you are able to gain that part of yourself back. For example, if a little boy growing up is told that he shouldn't be crying, he no longer has that full connection to his full range of emotions. And out of a protective mechanism, he has this fear of rejection if he shows emotion. Connecting with that and recognizing that shadow self brings it back so that he can be more whole and connected, and he can gain that part of himself back. You may notice your shadow when you are being self-deprecating, or you have these vast flares of emotion and are becoming reactive instead of responsive. There are many ways to do shadow work, and there's really no wrong way either. Whatever you find works for you is fantastic. However, I will offer a couple of suggestions. I really like the meditation side. You can sit with yourself, sit with the emotion, and really kind of see what that brings up. Feel free, if it works out better for you, to have an open dialogue with yourself. By saying it out loud and acknowledging it, You may find the words flow a little bit easier. Journaling is another technique I really enjoy. Now you can either do sort of a brain dump and just write and write and write whatever comes to mind and kind of work it out as you write. However, if you're the kind of person who enjoys journaling prompts a little bit more, I do have a couple for you. Number 1, what is something people do that bothers you? And how does that reflect a part of yourself? Number 2, what is a promise you make to yourself that you break? And why? Number 3, what do you feel guilty about? Definitely feel free to make up your own questions as journaling prompts. There are plenty you can search for, or just write. If you don't know where to start, that's absolutely the best method. Another activity you can do if you find it easier to do something a little more tangible, you want to light 2 candles for yourself. A light candle and a dark candle representing the light half of yourself, the conscious state that you show the world, and a dark candle representing the shadow self, the unconscious that you want to connect to. If you like, you can make 2 cups of tea as well, one that is a little bit more sweet and one that is a little bit more earthy or bitter. Maybe even something that represents the dark half of the year, such as cinnamon, nutmeg. Light 1 candle at a time as you enjoy the light candle and its presence and its representation of the light self. Enjoy your cup of tea and connect to and acknowledge the current state of being, yourself as you are aware of it. And then light the dark candle as you are ready to sip at the other tea, the more bitter tea, and begin to connect with and invite that shadow self so that you can begin to work with it. Don't be afraid to talk out loud if it helps you. And if you like, feel free to pull tarot cards or any other divination techniques if you're looking for a little bit more answers. If it helps you to connect a little bit better, these are great tools as well. Now, one more time, any of these can be done while under the care of a mental health professional. So please ask for help if you need it, because shadow work is not easy. But you are working on loving all parts of yourself. That's when you can begin the healing process. That's all I have for now, friends. If you have journaling prompts, I would love to hear about them. Please put them down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!